What is good, my people? It's your boy the ZFX. We're back again with another video. Today we're doing a pre-market analysis. As you can see, we're going to take a look at a few pairs. We'll be looking at the DXY, NAS100, GJ, and AUDUSD. Without further ado, we're going to just jump straight into it and look at the DXY and see what's happening with this here. So the first thing I'm going to do here is take a look at this on the highest time frame, which is the monthly, so we can identify a few key zones and see what we can do next after this. So what I can see here from the monthly time frame, once I go into the line chart, it is clear for me to see that price is in a nice little uptrend, as you can see. And on top of that, it is making, higher highs and higher lows as it's moving like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, higher highs and higher lows. Since I'm here in the monthly time frame, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to identify key zones that price could potentially head to. So the first zone I can identify is this high zone over here. The last time price was here was literally coming up to this time last year. So we're looking at around March 2020, as you can see. And before that, last time price had touched this was in literally 2016. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to identify that as my high point, and I'm going to identify this as my low point. So with me identifying these two zones here, it is clear for me to see that this is in some sort of range. So price is moving in a nice uptrend. The minute we started hitting these zones, we haven't been doing much. So we can say price is consolidating or it's in a range of some sort. That's just what we see here on the higher time frame on the weekly, as you can see. So what we're going to do now, we're going to jump, sorry, that's the monthly. We're going to jump into the weekly to get a better view of what is really happening here for the DXY. So on the weekly time frame, nothing too special is happening. What we're now going to do is we're going to identify some more zones so we can see where price could be heading to now. Although we know that these zones was marked out on the monthly, it will take quite a while for price to actually reach these zones. So we will be trading within what we see now. So what I can see here is a nice little zone like so. I do believe price will come to this level over here and respect it in some way, shape, or form. After it respects that zone, it can either do one or two things. It can reject and price will fall to the downside because we're in a nice uptrend, or we can expect price to break above retest, come and take liquidity over here, and if it keeps on coming, we take all the liquidity up here. But that is just literally what we're seeing here on the weekly time frame. So what I'm going to do, since I can see this on the line chart, is I'm going to cater for most of my touches over here on my trend line, like so. So this is just to show us the simple guide of where the DXY is heading. And it is clear to see the DXY is in a nice uptrend. So coming up to this week that has just closed, we can see price was in a nice uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows. And at this level of the market right here, we see price actually broke above and closed. So we are now looking to see what's going to be happening with the pullback. As you can see, this is a higher low. This is a higher high, higher low, higher high. So I'm expecting price to actually come down to this level over here, respect it in some way, and continue pushing up. But this is just literally on the weekly time frame. We haven't even jumped into daily or 4-hour or none of that. But yeah, now we'll go into the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, it is clear to see this is a nice uptrend. Ain't no denying that. The trend is your friend, my people. So with this being said, we can see now what is really happening. We have identified our zones from the highest time frame, monthly to weekly to daily, and now we're still in the daily time frame. So what we're looking at here is price making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher low. Higher high is what is made just now. So we are expecting price to come back at least to the level it's at right now, so it can come back and push to the upside. On top of that, if I get my Fibonacci tool to see what's really happening, I can see that price is actually at my zone of interest, like so. So although it's at the zone of interest, I will wait until I see something special that will give me that one piece of confirmation to tell me price is continuing going to the upside. So for the DXY, nothing too special is actually happening. other than the fact that we are in an uptrend. On the one of my previous videos, I did identify this anyway, so I am still sticking with that bias. As you can see, it is playing out just how I said it in those previous videos, my people. So DXY, at the moment, we are looking for it to still remain bullish. So if the DXY is bullish, we understand that any pair that's opposite correlation will be bearish, okay? So this is why we're going to take a look at AUD USD, my people, and see what is going to happen now. So AUD USD, my people, let's see what is really happening. So we're going to take a look at this on the monthly time frame. So on the monthly time frame, nothing special other than this move over here is what's really happening. You get me? So we just go over to the line chart and see what is actually happening at this moment in time. First things first, what I will do is identify my zones. So this level over here looks like a nice supply and demand zone. So I'll just make this line green, as you can see. And my next level literally would be up here. First, I will debate whether it's up here or up here. But at the moment, I'm just picking the point that is most relative to the price action at the moment, which is this level over here. So this will be my selling level. If I ever see price approach this region, I will know exactly what to do. I won't sell straight away, obviously. It's just a stupid thing to do. I will see what price is saying when it reaches that area. I'll see how it approaches that zone. But anyway, we will continue. On the line chart, we can see price is making higher high. Sorry, we can see it's making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. But now, what is very interesting is that it is approaching this level over here. So one of two things can literally happen when price comes to this area. Price can respect it, continue pushing to the upside, or it can violate it, retest, and push to the downside. In this scenario over here, it is quite interesting to see what is actually going to happen next, because there's no denying that we are in a nice downtrend, as you can see. So with that being said, this could be our impulse, this could be our correction, this could be another impulse, this could just be our correction. As you can see, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This is our lower high. It hasn't broken this level, so price could even come to this area over here. But let's not complicate things at the moment, my people, right? We're just seeing and weighing out our options on what could happen and what could not happen, right? So that's that there on the monthly time frame. What we do next is simple. We've identified that price is still in a downtrend. The only thing I will be cautious of is the fact that this was our higher low, this was our higher high. So literally anything between this zone and this zone could act as correction also for price to push to the upside, which is one thing we need to understand. But we need to understand still price did not break above this zone over here. So this could literally be just an impulse correction for another impulse to the downside, okay? And if price does push down that way, its target will be over here, all right? But other than that, we're going to jump straight into the weekly, see what's going on, identify a few things, and all of that, all right? Okay, so what we're going to do now on the weekly time frame is see what the structure is saying. The reason we're going to do this is so we can dive in further and get our nice entry, my people. So what we're seeing now is price is still in a downtrend, as you can see. I've got my trend line here showing me that price is heading to the downside. On this trend line, as you can see at this moment, we've got our first touch, we've got our second touch, and not our third touch at the moment, but there's a high probability if price gets that third touch, we know exactly what to do. So what we do now is we just clone this trend line over here and do the exact same and try and cater for most of the touches that we see. Boom. So here we can see that we're in a nice channel to the downside. So any opportunity we see to sell, we might as well take it. But at the moment, we need to be cautious because now we can see that there is a double bottom over here. And the double bottom is a reversal signal or a reversal indication for us to maybe start looking for price to reverse to the other direction. But at this moment in time, we can clearly see here on the line chart that price had pushed here to the downside impulsively. This is our correction, and price then started to push back to the downside. So we are still looking for bearish setups, but we need to be aware of what could happen once the bulls kick in. Okay, so what we do now is we have truly identified that is what is happening. So on the line chart, what I will do now, I will cater for my touches like so, to just indicate to me that we were in a corrective phase, and now this is the impulsive phase. Okay, my people, now that that's identified, we can dive in further into the daily time frame so we can see what's really happening. Boom. So it's clear to see. As you can see now, from dissecting this from the monthly, weekly to daily, we can see that price is still in that downtrend. We had our correction like so, the impulse correction. We saw price impulse out of this ascending trend line. So this for me is still more confirmation that price will continue pushing to the downside, at least to maybe come back and retest this level again. But I'll just remove this trend line, this little rectangle over here, so we can get a clearer picture of what could possibly happen next. So what I'm seeing now is that this is the impulsive phase of the market. Okay, what we need to do is we identify the higher highs and the higher lows on the line chart. So as you can see, I'll get the arrow like so. So we see this is our higher high, this is our higher low. This, it failed to make a new higher high, so it broke. So now this is our lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we saw price actually fail to break above this area over here, which was our lower high area. Because of this, I do expect price to still be bearish. As you can see, it respected this level here. So price is now pushing to the downside still. With this being said, I will now be more confident to dive into the 4-hour time frame and look for a bearish setup, my people. So that's what I'm going to do now. So now I'm going to dive into the 4-hour time frame and see exactly what I can find. So me diving into the 4-hour time frame, this is just like I'm a doctor, guys. Literally, I'm just a doctor right now, just dissecting this chart from start to finish. What I can see here is a nice trend line like so. With that being said, I can get rid of these here because I know it's already played out. Now I'm looking for that clear picture on what's going to happen next. What I do believe, or what I predict for price to do now, is a nice corrective move from the where it's at right now, like so, retest this level and continue pushing to the downside. So this is what I am anticipating for AUDUSD. At the moment, the DXY is looking very bullish, so it will be silly of me to be looking for buys on any other pair that correlates opposite to this. This is what I'm seeing here currently for AUDUSD. I'll draw my Fibonacci tool here, and around my area of interest will literally be somewhere around here. Take the fib off, get rid of this green line, boom, boom. Now, this to me is a clear, nice setup that I have at the moment here. Price will definitely impulse or correct up to this level over here. There will be some sort of reaction, and in the markets, we have to adapt to what's actually happening. So yes, my people, I do believe that we'll be looking for sells around this level over here. If the sells don't come through, it breaks above, we know exactly what to do. We change our bias, we look for the retest over here, and it'll touch our trend line from the higher time frame. So either way, we're always going to be ready for whichever outcome plays out, okay? Then on top of that, we can do something like this to show us the new direction of the market. Then I can get rid of this to just make things more clear for us to understand what is really happening. So now when I look at this pair, I know exactly that we are still going to be pushing to the downside. So once we push and break below these levels here, we know where the next target is going to be, which will literally be far down over here to retest the trend line over here, like so. That's what we're expecting anyway for AUDUSD. Very clear for me to see this setup, but yeah, that's that, my people. We're gonna go on to the next pair, which will be GJ, the famous GJ, my people. So GJ, what are you telling me? What I need to do first is look at it on the higher time frame. I'll get rid of everything here so I can show you how to dissect the charts. So on the highest time frame, all we need to do is identify what is happening. Once you can identify what is happening and where price is heading, all you have to do is scale in and find that right entry. It's simple as that, my people. So on the monthly time frame, I'm just going to look for a nice zone. This zone is speaking to me at the moment. I can tell that there's definitely an order block over here. 100% without a doubt. Price will come to this area and then reflect, push back down, push up. It doesn't matter, but there's a clear order block at that moment. At this level, my bad. But we will still break it below over here because we can see price is actually failing to break above and close above this area. This is just clear to see on the line chart, as you can see. Boom. Now that we've identified this on the monthly time frame, all we need to do now is jump into the weekly time frame and see what price is telling us. So once I go into the weekly time frame, the first thing I always do, my people, is I draw the trend lines. If I see a touch of the trend line, I will cater for all those touches so I can see the real direction of the market. Okay, so at the moment here on the weekly, I can see that the direction of the market is still bullish, like so. Still kind of bullish, yeah. The next thing I do the exact same thing for the other side, so I know that I'm in a nice channel. That's one side, and that's the second side. So I've now identified this here on the higher time frame, as you can see. So what we do now next is we scale in, my people. We scale in, see what's happening on the daily time frame. See what the daily is telling us. This is just the beauty of using trend lines. The beauty of it is once you identify on the higher time frame, on the lower time frame, it looks so much easier and so much cleaner, so we can see what is truly happening. Prices failed numerous times to actually close above this area. That's the first thing we need to notice. So at the moment, I will be expecting price to possibly push back down to this level like so. Reason being, I will dive in and I will show you exactly what I mean. At the moment in time, we can see that price is pushed up to the upside, is pushing back down, and here nothing too special is going on. But what I'm going to do here is jump into the daily 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, this is where we see what is truly happening. So from here, I will draw my next trend line so we can see where price is going and what price could potentially do. These boxes were drawn on the higher time frame. I will not need them at this moment in time. What I will need is just to identify a nice smaller zone like so. Once this zone has been identified, I do understand that price has a high chance of coming to this zone here, possibly taking liquidity and breaking to the downside. That's just one possible scenario. For every trade you take, you need to understand what can go your way and what can go against you. That is the beauty of trading, my people, and you just have to choose the right one. So now what we can see is that we're in a nice ascending channel. Because we're in a nice ascending channel, the trend is your friend. Any opportunity where price touches the trend line, you'll be looking to buy. as long as it suits your trading plan. If it doesn't, there's no point. But in this type of situation, we know that we are just looking for buying opportunities, my people. So for me with GJ, what I'm currently waiting on is to see what happens next. I don't have any particular bias on this at the moment. My bias is very, very neutral. The only thing I can say is I know the zones and I know exactly what could possibly happen. There's two, maybe three scenarios that could possibly play out. In this moment in time, price may come to this level, which it definitely will. It can break above, retest, go, and then do whatever it wants. The second thing I will be expecting, if I see price break to the downside, I will be looking for sells. Reason being, we're in a nice uptrend. If I see price break this trend line over here, and once I see what I'm looking for, I will definitely be looking for sells to the downside, especially to down over here. And if I do catch that sell, depending on where I catch it from, let's just say from here, it is a nice, easy 350 pips. Light work, okay? But that's what I'm seeing here for GJ. Nothing too special, like I say, but just understanding what's really happening is that we're in a nice corrective move here. It's too corrective for me to say. Because it's that corrective, I will be expecting a breakout, retest, push. If it doesn't, price will definitely come above here, and then we'll see what happens next, because it's been struggling to break this price for a very, very long time, my people. And finally, we're going to take a look at our favorite NAS100. So with NAS100, we will go to the weekly time frame. So we know and understand that NAS100 has been on a massive, massive uptrend ever since last year. So ever since 2020, it's been pushing up to the upside, to the upside, to the upside. So now for me, price has broken this trend line. As you can see, that it's been protecting price for a very long time. I am expecting price to come back, retest around this level to form a nice head and shoulders for price to continue pushing to the downside. If it doesn't do so, I will still be looking for buys at the level it's at right now and holding. So it really just depends what happens next. But I do know that price is definitely going to come to this level over here. Whether it's impulsive or corrective, it's 100% going to come to this level over here. But for the meantime, it's not there yet. So what I'm going to do is trade what I'm currently seeing. So once I jump into the daily time frame, I understand that we're still in a downtrend. But the one thing that I have noticed now is price has now broken above this structure over here. So the next structure that price has to retest is the structure above here. As you can see, that structure I drew on the higher time frame. So what I'm expecting to see for NAS100 is I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback still to this downside here. And then from there, I'll be pulling my trigger. I'm going to buy around here and exit around over here. If price is still in my favor, pushing to the upside, we'll see what happens. Maybe get another entry here and just ride the new uptrend until it retests, maybe push back to the downside. But yeah, my people, I will leave it at that. It's been a long video. That's my current bias in the market for this upcoming weeks, maybe months, with these three pairs that I've shown you. Make sure you show some love, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll leave it at that. Let there be peace in the Middle East, and let my brothers and sisters be safe.